Hello, my name is David Zahn, and I'll be your instructor for the next 9 or so topic areas talking about how to work with consultants. I've been in the consulting profession for over 20 years now, and I've also led many graduate and undergraduate courses in the skills of consulting. So the first thing we have to talk about is, how do we define consultant? When we think of a consultant, we all conjure up certain images. For some of us, it may be someone who looks really good in a crisp blue suit and red tie. For others, it might mean a gray-haired eminence who clearly has poise and charisma. For others of us, it may mean someone who is innovative, someone who's an up-and-comer and has unique ideas to really shake corporate America to its roots. Regardless of how you perceive consulting and consultants, it's important for us to first wrap our arms around exactly what is the definition of a consultant. So take a few moments now and think about how you would go about defining consultant. And as you do, I will read to you a few dictionary definitions that I've culled over the years. First one, the act of providing counsel or advice. Well, that seems fairly generic, not certain that I can really distinguish between what is consultant, what is friend, what is boss or colleague, as all of them seem to do that, so that doesn't really seem to hit it at a place that we can differentiate consultant from other. Second definition of the three I'll give you, the sharing of expertise. Well, now that begs the question, what exactly is expertise? How would I recognize it? How would I know expertise if I were to stumble upon it? When I think of expertise, very often I think of experience, knowledge gained, having someone who's been there, done that, and can now share some wisdom. But I don't know that just simply the sharing of expertise helps me in distinguishing who's a consultant, who's not, and what exactly makes someone expert. The third of the three definitions, the exchange of experience, expertise, intellect, process, or information for a fee in a professional relationship. Well, that starts to narrow it down a little bit, because now we're talking about there has to be some barter or transaction, a fee for experience, intellect, process, expertise. Still not certain I would know how to differentiate those from other skills and what qualifies one as good versus bad, but at least now we've narrowed it down to there has to be some business transaction. There has to be the exchange of dollars or currency for this expertise, experience, or process knowledge. I think we all kind of sort of understand what a consultant does or looks like, but it's not really all that clear, and that in part is one of the problems with consulting. It's very difficult to understand who truly is a consultant, who's masquerading as someone who pretends to be a consultant, and who has no claim at all to consulting, but may still be of value to us in our organizations. So with that murky introduction, let's move forward. If you were to try to build the perfect consultant, what would that person look like? Would they be somebody who is a multi-year in one company employee, so they have really learned the ins and outs of that particular company? Would this perfect beast of a consultant be someone who has gone from company to company, taking perhaps different experiences and exposures in each of those companies, and now able to apply it to your company? Would it be someone who's a creative, innovative thinker and may never have had any experience in either the department or the function or the industry or the company that they're now being called upon to provide consulting services to? Any and all of these answers may be correct, it really goes down to the problem identification. What is it we're trying to accomplish? Do we want somebody who has the ingrained knowledge that can only be developed from having walked the hallways of one company for 2 or more decades? Do we want somebody who has seen it all and can now provide context, both the bird's eye view as well as the feet on the street perspective required to get a particular project done? Or are we looking for someone who does provide a different way of looking at things? It's important for us to wrap our arms around what is it we're trying to accomplish and then fitting the resource to that particular problem or issue within our companies. So, what roles should the consultant play? One may be the business advisor, and by that I mean they may be someone who provides insight, direction, guidance, maybe not even services or products that they themselves sell. It could be that acting as advocate for the client, they're merely providing some direction and insight as to where that client can best meet their needs as they've been defined. A second role that a consultant may have is the idea merchant. Are they someone who's been tasked with helping to drive innovation, creativity, spark the people within the company to achieve bigger and better and brighter futures? Any of those are potentials if, in fact, that's the desire of the company when they went in search of a consultant. The third is the strategist. This is a person who has their eye on the big picture and continues to drive the big ideas within a company and helps to create the infrastructure, the organizational design, the skill sets required to meet the big strategic initiative or objective. A fourth potential role for a consultant could be simply the project leader. Are they someone who's been called upon to marshal the troops, who knows how to keep forward momentum and progress and is able to keep the company focused on the target by bringing disparate resources together to accomplish a common goal? A fifth potential related to that is change leader. Is the consultant being brought in because they have a new way to accomplish something or can help the company to accomplish some new initiative, some new process, some new approach? Consultants can very often lend their expertise in the ability to move organizations from one point of view, from one skill set to another. They can also be expected to be strong relationship managers. Many consulting projects require bringing in people from finance, marketing, IT, etc. And very often those people have their own agendas, their own perspectives, their own ways of looking at the world. The consultant can very often talk the talk of each of those functions or departments and then bring them together to achieve a goal that is the organizational goal and not simply a functional or departmental goal. The last and probably, in my estimation, the most important facet of what a consultant has to bring is a good communication skill. They've got to be able to take people who have questions and provide answers. They have to be able to anticipate objections. After all, you're asking people to change something anytime you're embarking on a consulting project. You're going to change how they use a particular tool or resource or a computer application. You're going to change the order of things that they do. You're going to ask people who previously didn't do certain tasks to now assume responsibility for those tasks. Whatever the change may be, the ability to communicate clearly is going to separate a good consultant from those that do not succeed as well. As far as communication, they also need to be able to keep in touch with their client contact manager so that status updates are provided, so that everyone on the committee or team understands where the progress is occurring, where the obstacles are happening, and can put a plan in place to continue the forward movement. So when I think of a consultant, perhaps the icon that I come up with is more like that old television show, Columbo. And if you remember, and I know I'm dating myself, but if you remember that television show, Peter Falk, the actor, played a detective character, Columbo, who appeared to be more of a stumbling, fumbling, bumbling kind of character who almost seemed to never get it right. Yet his approach was to ask a lot of questions. And he would take notes in a little pad that he kept in his pocket. And periodically he would go back and he would re-question people who had provided a particular answer just to confirm that their answer hadn't changed. And over the course of the television program, he would cobble together exactly what had occurred in terms of the crime or the horrific event that he was called upon to investigate. Rather than just jumping to an immediate conclusion, he would continue to ask questions. Now, surely he had a hypothesis. He walked in with 1, 2, or 3 potentials that he was going to explore most prominently, but he allowed the data to speak for itself. He didn't jump to a conclusion and then only go in search of questions and answers that would support his hypothesis, but rather he would continue to ask questions and reaffirm his responses until such time as he was able to put all the pieces together to create the appropriate resolution. Now, that was a television program, and our consulting work and our corporate environments don't always lend themselves as cleanly to that kind of dramatic flair. But the process, frankly, is quite the same. The ability to ask questions, the ability to observe what's happening, the ability to see common threads or themes, all of those skills are what really will separate a good consultant, the perfect beast consultant, from those that, frankly, will not make it in the career and as clients should not be allowed to work in those organizations. The last thing I want to add is that consultants do themselves and their clients a service by using what might be referred to as benign ignorance. And by that I mean the consultant pretends as if they don't have the experience they truly do. They ask questions. They don't make assumptions off the immediate information they receive, but they continue to pursue, confirm, reaffirm, ask broader audiences for perspectives so that they don't allow what they've seen previously to taint or color what they're currently seeing. One of the dangers, having seen many projects in many companies, is that the consultant has to fight the urge to just take a shortcut. Oh, I've seen this before. Oh, this is what it was like at company ABC. Or when I was at company 1, 2, 3, this is what worked. While it may in fact be the same, it's important for the consultant to feign or force themselves to go back to a point of unknowing and then build the case for what needs to be done at this client, at this company, from the ground up on a strong foundation of data, of question and answers, of observations, of strong listening skills, hearing what is said as well as what is not said. In some ways, consulting is like a hurt and rescue mission. You have to go in search of the pain or the wound, where the client is ailing, and then offer them a way to improve upon that condition. I hope this has been a helpful lecture, and I look forward to meeting you at the future lectures. Thank you.